That bar in your vault? It just lost its citizenship. Not metaphorically. Legally. ASTM B822 didn't go live as a suggestion. It went live as a border checkpoint effective April 1, 2026. No grandfathering, no waivers, no phase-in, just a hard legal line drawn across the entire global silver supply chain. And here's what that line does. If your silver doesn't carry the full B822 certification verified assay, blockchain tracked chain of custody, mint-issued certificate, third-party audit, then it has no rights. None. It cannot settle a single COMEX futures contract. It cannot serve as level 1 high-quality liquid asset during a banking crisis. It cannot be purchased by Social Security or Medicare trust funds even if the Treasury writes the check. That's not policy nuance. That's black and white statutory exclusion. Let that sink in. You could hold 100 tons of 99.99% pure silver refined in Switzerland, stored in London, insured by Lloyds, and if it lacks that B822 stamp, it's legally inert, like a driver's license that suddenly stops working. Not because you can't drive, but because the state revoked your right to be recognized as a driver. Now ask yourself, what percentage of the world's above-ground silver actually meets this standard? The World Silver Survey 2026 says 63%. That's not a typo. 63% of all silver, including bars from U.S. mints, LBMA vaults, and private depositories, fails B822. Not because it's impure, not because it's old, but because it lacks traceable documentation: the paper trail, the assay timestamp, the mint seal, the custody log. In other words, it's not the metal that's disqualifying, it's the provenance. And provenance is now a law. Which means right now 63% of the world's silver sits outside the legal system. It's physically present, but legally invisible. Think about that the next time you hear, silver is abundant. Abundant where? In vaults? Yes. In compliance? No. Refiners are turning away tons at the gate. Banks are rejecting deposits without B822 paperwork. COMEX is rejecting delivery notices not for weight or purity, but for missing certification fields. This isn't quality control, it's jurisdictional control. And the result? Silver is no longer fungible. 2 bars, identical weight, identical purity, identical appearance, get treated as completely different assets. One glows green on the COMEX ledger. The other vanishes into a regulatory gray zone. No stamp, no rights. Your silver just lost its citizenship. And the vault doors? They're already locked. 3 laws. 1 vault. 0 coordination. ASTM B822 went live April 1. OCC Bulletin 2026-07 went live March 28. Section 409 of the Trust Fund Modernization Act went live January 1. No phase-ins, no waivers, no grandfathering, just 3 independent legal mandates, each with binding force, each with enforcement teeth now converging on the exact same physical asset, the 12,400 tons of ASTM certified silver. That's not a statistic. That's less than the annual output of a single Tier 1 silver mine. That's 2% of the world's above-ground stock, the only silver that legally counts. Now watch what happens when 3 institutions, banks, federal trust funds, and derivatives exchanges all reach for that same 12,400-ton pool. First, banks. OCC Bulletin 2026-07 forces them to hold physical silver as level 1 high-quality liquid asset, the Fed's top-tier crisis reserve. But only B822 bars qualify. And they must be held in custody, not pledged, not lent, not collateralized. Legally frozen, physically present, utterly unavailable. Second, federal trust funds. Section 409 triggers automatic silver purchases when Social Security or Medicare shortfalls exceed 15%. Again, only B822 bars accepted. Delivery required within 30 days. No delays, no substitutions, no exceptions. Third, COMEX. Rule 11.12(c) excludes all non-B822 bars from futures delivery. Which means, right-pointing arrow, a bank's HQLA silver cannot settle a futures contract even if it owns both. Right-pointing arrow, a trust fund's newly procured silver cannot be resold into COMEX the moment it's delivered. It's locked into statutory custody. right-pointing arrow, and COMEX has no authority to compel either institution to release it. So ask yourself, when your bank holds silver as crisis insurance, whose futures contract does it break? When the Treasury buys silver for Medicare, what delivery deadline does it miss? This isn't theoretical, it's already happening, and it's accelerating. Because these mandates don't add demand, they remove supply from competing uses, in real time. One bar, one certification, 3 legally binding, mutually exclusive purposes. There is no overflow valve, no backup pool, no hierarchy between the OCC, the Treasury, and the CME. Just one shrinking vault, and 3 laws pulling from it simultaneously. Silver's vault didn't just lock, it got triple locked, and the key was turned all at once. It happened in 87 days. Not gradually, not quietly. In broad daylight on the COMEX ledger. Registered stocks, 29,800 tons. January 1, 2026. Then a hard stop. No warning, no announcement, just the numbers collapsing. By March 27, 2026, 17,600 tons. That's not a dip, that's a 41% vanishing act. 12,200 tons gone. Not rotated into eligible, not shifted to storage, not sold to investors, out of the system entirely. Seeking Alpha confirmed it in February. Metal left the vault entirely. So where did it go? Not to speculators, not to collectors, not to ETFs. It went where the law sent it. First, banks. OCC Bulletin 2026-07 didn't ask nicely. It required Level 1 HQLA silver held in custody, not pledged, not lent, not touched. So banks pulled certified bars straight out of COMEX registered stocks and locked them into segregated, auditable, non-transferable vault accounts. Legally frozen, physically removed. Second, federal trust funds. Section 409 triggered in January. Social Security shortfall hit 15.3%. Automatic procurement launched. 30-day delivery window. Only B822 bars accepted. So Treasury agents went straight to the only place with certified supply COMEX registered and claimed tons on behalf of Medicare and Social Security. No negotiation, no delay, just statutory seizure. Third, refiners. They stopped accepting non-B822 material at the gate. Why? Because once refined, it couldn't re-enter the system as eligible metal. So incoming scrap, foreign bars, legacy inventory all turned away. No inflow, only outflow. That's how you lose 12,200 tons in under 3 months. Not through market forces, through legal extraction. And here's the proof it wasn't speculation, it was suffocation. Silver lease rates spiked to 12.7% in December 2025. That's not volatility, that's a system gasping for air. Because lenders had 0 B822 bars to lend. And borrowers, banks needing collateral, hedge funds needing delivery metal had nowhere to source certified silver. They weren't bidding up price. They were begging for access. 12.7% isn't a rate. It's a distress signal, one that echoed across London, New York, and Zurich because the bottleneck wasn't regional. It was certification limited. Every bar pulled for HQLA custody is one less bar for COMEX delivery. Every ton claimed by Medicare is one less ton for a future settlement. Every ingot rejected by a refiner is one less chance to rebuild the compliant pool. There is no overflow, no substitute, no workaround, just 12,400 tons shrinking, not growing. And now, for the first time in history, the COMEX vault isn't a reservoir. It's an evacuation zone. The next time you see silver prices surge, don't ask what moved sentiment. Ask which mandate just pulled another 1,000 tons out of the system. Because the vault isn't full. It's being legally emptied one statute at a time. It's not scarcity. It's decomposition. The legal bottleneck isn't coming. It's live, right now. And it's accelerating. Because every new mandate doesn't add demand, it removes certified silver from every other legal use. That 12,400 ton pool? It's not growing. It's static. Frozen in place. Refiners can't certify fast enough, not because they lack capacity, but because B822 isn't a stamp. It's a process. 14-day assay windows. Third-party audits on site, unannounced. Blockchain track logistics, every gram logged, timed, and verified. That adds 11 weeks to the production cycle. 11 weeks to turn raw silver into legal currency. Meanwhile, COMEX delivery deadlines are measured in days. Section 409 procurement windows are 30 days. OCCHQLA mandates are effective immediately. So what happens when law moves faster than logistics? The compliant pool doesn't expand. It fragments. One bar goes to a bank's segregated HQLA vault and legally cannot settle a futures contract. Another bar gets delivered to Medicare and legally cannot be resold into COMEX. A third sits at a refiner, waiting 11 weeks for certification while demand pulls 12,200 tons out of the system in 87 days. There is no overflow, no substitution, no shared inventory, just 3 legally sealed compartments all drawing from the same 2% pool. And no mechanism to move metal between them. Which means, right-pointing arrow every ton claimed by Social Security is a ton permanently removed from COMEX delivery eligibility. Right-pointing arrow every bar locked into HQLA custody is a bar permanently withdrawn from the lease market. Right-pointing arrow every ingot rejected at the refinery gate is a ton permanently excluded from ever re-entering the compliant pool. This isn't supply and demand. It's legal partitioning, and it explains exactly why silver's price no longer responds to yields. You're not pricing industrial demand or investor sentiment. You're pricing access rights. The physical premium isn't a market quirk. It's a legal tax charged for the privilege of using silver in a way the law permits. The next time silver spikes on news, don't ask what moved sentiment. Ask which mandate just pulled another 1,000 tons out of circulation. Because the vault isn't full. It's not empty. It's assigned.